warm-hearted,
welcoming,
genuine, caring,
spirited,
extremely hospitable,
thankful,
willing to learn,
inquisitive,
modest,
welcoming,
beautiful. They are really beautiful.
happy. Happy is the big word. They're happy.
I love them. I love Malawians. I would say Hearing for Humanity's main goal is to provide sustainable resources to those in Malawi through education and supplies, as well as treatment.
I think what's most important to them is that they know that we are coming there to not just drop a lot of hearing aids and go. That our intent is to return on a yearly basis and to provide training and to have some kind of sustainability.
teaching and training the Malawans to be able to do what we started by doing is the most important part, is the education component.
Our initiative is to leave a long-lasting impression on people in Malawi and have someone there who can further our treatment and further our testing so that we can see that progress and see that growth in a developing country.
Because it's important to bless other people's lives, those people who deserve to be blessed, whenever they're least expecting it, and that's what makes it the best. And those are who the people that we served in Malawi.
That we want to do what it is that they want us to do. So we try not to go in there with preordained ideas about what it is that they need, but rather we find out what they want us to do.
It's, it's not a developed country, but I think that's what makes it so special, is because here in the US we are so picky and such a deserving society, but when you go other places you just appreciate life more, because they appreciate water, they appreciate a hut, they appreciate the finer, simpler things, or not the finer things, the simpler things, and we just take way too much for granted.
And I think that even though they have extremely difficult circumstances, that overall they're optimistic, they're happy.
Definitely, the people over there are just amazing. They each have a story, and they're just so glad to tell you about what they do, and they're excited to see us, and it's amazing how much respect they have for you just coming over to help over there, which is pretty amazing to me.
We were at Imagweni, and we were fitting a 9-year-old girl. Granted, she did not look like she was 9-year-old. She was very malnourished, looked like she was probably about 5. We had made her ear molds and were about to fit her with her hearing aids. We had programmed them appropriately. And we were at an orphanage. No, we were at a school for the deaf. And her name was Emma, very easy VCV. And I told her that I was going to teach her how to say her name. And she knew exactly what I was talking about. And so, well, of course, I signed it to her. And I taught her how to say her name. First we put her hearing aids on, we turned them on, and her eyes just got so big. And then I told her I was going to teach her how to say her name, and we did it. And she said it over and over and over and over again. And that was the first time she had said her name, and she was 9 years old. That was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I remember in particular we were at the African Bible College, and a young woman had come in, and she had a hearing loss as well as vision loss because she had had meningitis and malaria and kind of a bevy of other illnesses. And she came the first day, and we tested her, and we weren't sure if we were going to be fitting her with a hearing aid. She came back the next day, and she brought this body aid that she had gotten a number of years ago, but it didn't work. And then she gave us more information that we did not have the previous day, which was that she had been in a teacher training program, and she had to drop out because she could not hear. And so that was going to be her livelihood. And so we fit her with hearing aids that day, and we wrote a letter to try to help get her reinstated in that training program. And so it was a nice example, I think, of the fact that we really could have an impact when we were over there, and to help someone, get their life back on track and overcome at least the hearing part of her disability.
In our first stop in Karanga Hospital, we saw it was a very challenging situation, and there was one gentleman that came in, and he was just so somber, and he was walking. He just was looking down at the floor. He didn't want to communicate, no eye contact. I felt really bad for him. We tested his hearing. He had a moderate to severe hearing loss in both ears. Took him next door, fed him with 2 hearing aids. And then to see the instant change in this person, I mean, he was happy, he was smiling, he was joking with our interpreters, and it was just, to see that night and day difference, it was a really amazing experience.
We definitely saw some unusual things that you do not see here because of the advancement of healthcare.
I pulled out a sponge, twigs, seeds, rocks. There was a lot of rocks, lots of wax.
I just saw a lot of pus.
Light bulbs and pieces of cotton and tissue, as well as lots and lots of earwax.
I've done humanitarian missions before, and the thing that got me into doing it was, you read and hear about how awful things are around the world, and do you write a check, or how much impact is that going to be, and what can I do? I'm just this audiologist. What can I really do? I mean, because people are dying, they don't have food, they don't have water. But to me, if I can do something as simple as what I do as an audiologist, which some people might not consider it to be simple, but if I can make impact just for one person, I think I've done something, and that's what I want to do.
I think it really lets you know who you are as a person and who you can be as a professional. So it kind of opens up this whole new area, I guess, or a new experience that you're just not going to get in your clinic work.
We were a great team, both international and local, with 2 audiologists, an ENT, several students from the ABC College, and us from ASU. So we worked really well together and were able to see quite a few people.
And then the opportunity to go with ASU students and see young professionals coming up and making that decision to do something of really giving of themselves, I think is something I really want to be a part of.
It's really hard when you see someone in such poverty to just focus on the one thing you're there to do, and you really want to try to help everything and try to separate out what you can and actually help them with. But and try to, still you want to experience everything emotionally, but you need to sometimes keep your emotions in check and deal with what's in front of you.
And there's no better way to know who you are as a person, or even as a professional, than to be in a type of situation where you're outside your comfort zone and learning new things.
Malawi is called the warm heart of Africa, and I think that we really realize that label is true.
So although we did go to Africa to essentially work, it wasn't work at all, and that's what made it so wonderful.
It was a very rewarding experience because it allowed me to travel, which I'd never done before, and it allowed me to merge together the passion that I have for helping others and volunteering, as well as my interest in audiology. So it was extremely awesome and interesting and life-changing for sure.
Well, this trip is going to be different than the earlier trips because we have an even bigger group. And we have a mix of new students going for the first time and returning students. So it's going to be a wonderful exchange of, students who are returning being a mentor to the new students, and just really, working with the students to help them with these new experiences, because it is absolutely a culture shock. There's emotional things that we encounter every day because you witness poverty that you do not see in this country.
I'm really looking forward to the team that is pulled together. The existing team that went last year, and coming along with the new students, because this is my first time out of the Western Hemisphere.
What I'm really excited about now, having been there 2 times, is when we go back, that we get to meet the friends that we made during the previous trips. So, for example, the students at the African Bible College, that we get to work with them again and travel with them. The 2 audiologists at the African Bible College, Peter and Rebecca Bartlett. We just made such an incredible bond in a short period of time when we were there. That's part of what makes this whole trip incredibly rewarding. So, and also all the folks that we met at the different schools that we visited, to be able to go back and see them again and see how everyone's doing, the children of the school, and just really get reacquainted.
I'm really excited to meet the Australian audiologists and to work alongside people that are like-minded in wanting to do this service project and try and do something for these people.
I'm most looking forward to seeing everybody. The people, although we were only there for a month, they will be with me for a lifetime. And the fact that I get to see them again is really, really cool.
I'm also excited to be back in a place that reminds me of where I want my career to go and where the type of environment that I want to be working in.
I'm excited to teach some of the graduate students that will be going with us, and definitely having to not just do things myself, but learn how to put that into a teaching way.
I'm excited to make a change and help those in need.
I'm excited!